I mean, there's no point building your own brand if you don't have any good content to give. And I don't mean just content online, I mean a good product or a good service. And you will never have a great product or a great service unless you have the passion to go through the downtimes, because every business will take you through the downtimes.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Conversations. Now today I'm very honored to have with me Mr. Vickers Macaulay, because he's known as the world's #1 wisdom coach. Now how often do you actually get a world #1 wisdom coach sitting next to you? Which is why I'm super excited to be here today with Mr. Vickers Macaulay. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Gavin.
Right, so Vickers here is actually known as the world #1 wisdom coach. He's known as the Steve Jobs of wisdom, and he actually worked with many top level entrepreneurs, celebrities, as well as CEOs. Alright, his clientele are all the top level people that you can ever find in this world, and he actually help people and coach people in wisdom in business. Right, so using wisdom, he actually helped a lot of business owners achieve greater heights in their business, and it's amazing what he does. Now, I actually known Vickers for some time now. I think it's been about 2 years since I first met Vickers, and the first time I actually saw him, it absolutely blew my mind, because I saw Vickers on stage. I remember that you were on stage, you were sharing about all these wisdom nuggets that you have, and I was literally sitting down there with my notebook open, and I was writing, and my jaw fell to the ground. Okay, it was that amazing. And at the end of that presentation, I remember every single one in the room, like I believe there was like 2,500 of us, yes. Right? 2,500 of us all stood up to our feet, and we gave him a standing ovation for close to a minute. It was amazing. All the things that Vickers shared was absolutely mind-blowing, and you never ever thought that, just wisdom nuggets like those are able to help you really change your perspective in business, in life, in everything that you do, that's going to help you bring your game to the next level. And that is why today's interview is going to be so exciting for many of you out there who are watching this right now, because everything that Mr. Wisdom here is going to share, I'm telling you, it's going to change your life and business in ways that you have never ever anticipated. So I'm so excited to get started. Because are we ready?
I'm ready, and oh my God,
oh my God,
what an amazing introduction. So no pressure at all, but I'm ready. Let's go.
Oops, I guess bring it a little bit too far, but I'm sitting opposite the world #1 wisdom coach right here. So now it's amazing. Not everyone can call themselves a wisdom coach, less the #1 wisdom coach in the world. So Vickers, can you actually share with us how that title actually fell onto your laps? I think the audience will be very interested to find out.
Yeah, no, that's actually a very interesting story, Gavin. So I'm actually from India originally. I'm headquartered in Singapore. My base and home is Singapore. But I was born into a family where my father was an entrepreneur. And he started with nothing. He started with zero in a refugee camp, and then he built himself into a multi-millionaire, a wealthy person. So by the time I come around, I'm the second child. Life is comfortable. So I'm growing up in that family, surrounded by a person who's super successful and who's wealthy and who's running a big business. So that's in my blood. But around the time when I'm 14, maybe 14 and a half, I start on this journey of getting to understand life. I want more wisdom. I want to understand how the human being works. I want to understand how success is created. And my whole focus, and I still remember this, right from when I'm a teenager to now, when I'm 50, my whole focus is on how do I produce maximum results with minimum effort. Because for me, that's the definition of wisdom. Maximum results with minimum effort. Why should I invest more than I need to get the results I want? And I want the maximum results. I want exponential results out of whatever I do. So I started my journey at 14, and for the next 15 years, I'm looking out and seeking out people of wisdom, the most wisest, enlightened people that I could find, whether it was in business, whether it was in life, whether it was in the personal development field. And I learned from them. And at 29, I had my own inner awakening. In a way, I had my epiphany, breakthrough moment. And I suddenly saw the blueprint of life. I saw how life should work. And I understood what people do wrong, and I understood how to set it right. And at that point of time, when I was 29, I had become the CEO of our family business, which was a fairly big business. It was in the multi-millions of dollars at that time I'm talking about. So 20 years, 30 years ago. And even though I was at the position of the CEO, what I really wanted to do was to, now that I had my own inner breakthrough, I wanted to give this knowledge and this wisdom to the whole world, because I saw businesses struggling, I saw people struggling, I saw relationships breaking down, I saw people who were not fulfilling their potential, and I wanted to go out and tell them, this is the way, go do it. And so I had to make a decision, and I made that decision, and the decision was that I left being the CEO, and I left the family business, and I walked away with nothing, and I started Soul Center, which is my company now, and today we are all over the world. And that's how, your question was, how did I get that title? So that's the time people started calling me a wisdom coach, a guru, a teacher, and a life coach. People give you all sorts of names,
Yeah.
I've been called everything from a Zen master to a guru to a wisdom coach. Wisdom coach is more modern, so that's what stuck. Right? And I help people and businesses and companies and CEOs. I work with a number of top level people, as you mentioned, and we'll talk more about that. But when I was in the US, maybe about 3 or 4 years ago, and I was coaching and I was speaking and I was sharing with people, business people there, that's when they started calling me. He's like the number one guy in this field. I mean, we haven't seen anybody else like him. So that was like a title which stuck. That's how it happened. So here I am today.
Wow.
I don't think I'm number one, because I feel I still have to grow a lot. That's one of the core teachings. No matter how great you become, no matter how successful you become, you must constantly keep growing. And
Yes.
that's something I love in you. I must point that out, because I've known you, as you said, for about 2 years plus, and I've seen you achieve many great successes, and I've seen you grow so much. But one thing I've noticed is that no matter how much you achieve, you always want to keep on growing. And for me, that's really a signal. It's a messenger of the fact that we are truly great on the inside. So that's the story of what the name came about.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's such an inspiring story, because I don't think that, if I'm hearing it right, like, guys, if you guys didn't hear it, like, so he was a CEO of a multi-million company, and that was like 20, 30 years ago, and you walk away with nothing. You chose to walk away with nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I find that really interesting and, well, inspiring and also shocking. Like, what really made you decide on that? Like, how? Because for someone who has everything in life and everything that you could probably ask for at that point of time, you chose to walk away with nothing. Like, how?
So here's the thing, right? Why did I do it? I believe that all of us have just one life to live. All of us have just one life to live. And this life is meant to give us a lot of fulfillment.
Yeah.
Right? So the first thing I must do if I want to live the right life is to look within me and to find something that gives me that sense of fulfillment and joy and elevation. It elevates me to the next level. So I mean passion, I mean purpose, I mean that inner significance. And I realized at that age of 29 that even though externally I had that comfortable life and I had the money coming in, I had a regular paycheck every month, but on the inside I wasn't so happy, because I knew what I really truly wanted to do was now to give that wisdom to the world, because that was the greatest treasure that I had. So what had helped me to find the truth, what had helped me to break free, what had helped me to see that clarity of what life is all about is what I wanted to give people. I wanted to take the struggle away. I wanted to give them the success that they wanted, but together with the significance. There's nothing wrong with wealth, provided it doesn't take away your happiness and your joy and the relationships that you must have. There's nothing wrong with success, but if you lose that happiness for your success, it's failure. So that's why I always believe success without happiness is failure. So I literally had to make a decision. Do I stay in this position that life has put me into? Or do I follow my idea of what I want to do with my life? Do I follow that inner voice, which is what I'm being called to do? right?
Wow.
So I had to make a decision, and it was a tough decision, I must tell you. No one understood it. My family didn't at that point of time. But it was something that I had to do for myself, because I have one life to live. All of us have one life to live. And if you're not doing something which brings you joy on a daily basis, you're doing the wrong thing. It's never about the paycheck. It's never about the paycheck. You know what? The thing is this, when you look at the people at the top of their game, they always do it because they love it. You look at tennis, Roger Federer does it because he loves it. Rafael Nadal does it because he loves it. Djokovic does it because he loves it. Why do people do this? Why does Tom Cruise make another movie which makes 200, 300, 400 million dollars? Does he need more money? I don't believe so. But I believe, and I know this because I've researched, he does it because he loves the game of acting. So we've got to be in a field where we love it. And that brings us joy even when we are not making money. But when you love something, you get good at it, and then you're going to make a lot of money anyway. So actually, truly, joy and love for the work that we do, okay? Joy and love is a precursor to success. Because the skills can always be learned. But how can you learn passion? You cannot. So I say find the passion first, put the skills after that, and success becomes easy. And that's wisdom for you.
Wow. Do you guys just hear that? I think if you haven't, rewind this video for the last 10 seconds, you're going to hear it again. Right? Find the passion, the skills will come later, and that's the true definition of how you're going to find success in life.
Absolutely. So, you know, when I walked away from the family and the family business, because no one understood it, I had to just make a decision by myself. It was a very solitary decision. And when I walked away, I did not have any support. And I still remember that I had less than $1,000 in my bank account. And because we are sitting in Singapore, I use Singapore dollars as a currency. I had less than 1,000 Singapore dollars in my bank account. And I didn't know what the future will bring. But
how can you survive that?
Look, you know, when you're driven, you find a way. You do whatever it takes. You just refuse to give up. And when you refuse to give up, life always falls in line. And that's another secret of wisdom I'd like to share with everyone. You know, I coach people. I mean, there's one of my best-selling programs is how to get the universe on your side. How to get this entire force of the universe on my side. And one of the things that triggers that is 100% commitment to your goal. Refusing to give up. And then doing whatever it takes, which means being flexible also. Because doing whatever it takes means giving up wrong ideas. So I can't operate from a place of ego. But when you're 100% committed to the goal and you're open to changing everything else, is when the universe is triggered and you suddenly find unexpected support, unexpected opportunities coming your way. So here's what I say. You get committed first, and the universe supports you after that. But unfortunately, most of the world lives in the opposite way. They say, well, when the support arrives, when the opportunity arrives, when the world gives me that, you know, that leverage or that push is when I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
Absolutely. I mean, I really have to agree with you on that. Now, for those of you who've been following us for some time now, you know that I'm also in sales. I also do events, and many times one of the biggest objection that we always hear when people want to go for a coaching course or some lesson to actually improve their skill set, they will say, oh, can I actually do it later, and then when I make the money, and then I will sign up for the course. But the idea is that if you are not committed to learning the skill set first, you don't first learn, you're not able to earn, right? And then when you can't earn, you'll not be able to attend the course. So exactly what you were mentioning earlier was that, you know, commit first, right? And then when you're driven, when you're committed, the universe will actually find ways to support you, and that's something that I feel that is so important to us in our life. And this channel, you know, that we are actually doing this right now, that having this conversation with top people in their game, is that we want to support people who are in sales, marketing, as well as entrepreneurship, you know, to help you guys get started. So that's exactly why I'm actually doing all this over here right now. Now, Vickers, actually, earlier on in this conversation, you shared something that is very, very amazing, and you was actually telling us that because of your inner calling, because you found that your purpose in life was to do something, and that's why you actually left everything behind to actually do it. Now, I believe most of us might not even find the courage to do it, but I believe many of people who is watching this right now, they might be thinking now, Vickers, you're the wisdom coach, can you actually share with us then, how can I find my inner calling? How do I find my purpose? How do I do that?
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a really good question. And actually the first thing, so I have a coaching model that I use with people who are new to me and people who don't know what they want in life. Because believe me, I would go so far as to give you a percentage. It's an estimation, but if there's 8 billion people on the planet, let's say, then I would go so far as to say that 80% of those 8 billion people don't really know what their own purpose is, right? Which is a big percentage.
Yeah.
So when I work with people who are not clear about that, the first step on this coaching process that I take them through is to get the clarity. Because if you're not clear, it's like you're walking in the dark. You're soon going to fall over, or you're going to bump into something, or you're going to injure yourself. So the first step is to find clarity. But how do you find the clarity? How do you find that inner voice or that inner calling? And the little secret that I want to share with everyone today is that the thing you should look at is what action or what activity gives you joy. Joy means a sense of happiness and excitement. It brings your energy up when you just do the activity. So it's not about the money, it's not the rewards I'm getting it, it's not what people are paying me, it's not what is coming back to me, but what kind of an activity brings me that excitement and energizes me, takes my energy up. Because here's the thing, life is energy. Everything is energy.
Yeah.
Right now, you and me are sitting here, you and I are sitting here, and we are having this conversation, this interview. We are spending time. But what is time? Time is also a spending of energy, right? But are we spending it or are we investing it? Investment means we'll get something out of it. We gain out of this conversation, we gain out of this interaction. We hope that the people on the other side gain also. We are here to give them benefit. But we are investing that time and that energy which the time contains. So life is always about energy. So if you want to find out what is the best use of your life, look at what puts you at a high energy. That's one way to find what your calling should be, right? And it's not about what's coming back to me, because a lot of people say, oh, I'm feeling excited when I earn the money. But you see, here's the thing. Money is just an effect. Money is just a consequence. When you do the right thing, the earning of the money becomes easy. Let me give you a nice example for this.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay.
So I live in Singapore. I have a condominium. And outside our condominium, we have a very, quite a big balcony. And we have a nice flower pot, right? So we have this whole little flower bed there. And it's like a little long, like rectangular thing. The length of the balcony. Stay with me on this. The lesson's beautiful, right? So this whole flower bed. So we have plants in it. And I water those plants, and if I'm traveling, nature waters the plants, and the plants keep growing.
Yeah.
So one day, I'm sitting at home, maybe it's a Sunday, because usually I'm working. I work 7 days a week, and that's the amazing part. When you're passionate, you love your work. When your work is your love, when your work brings you joy, you don't think of it as work.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
So I'm home one of these days. So let's say it's a Sunday, and I noticed that there's something strange in that flower pot outside. So I'm wondering, what is it? Because I see some movement in the flower pot. So I thought maybe a bird landed in my flower pot, or maybe there's a lizard there, one of those chameleons or something. So let me go and see.
Yeah.
So I go out, and interestingly enough, on this flower bed, there is a nest. And in the nest, there are 3 eggs. And right next to the right next to the eggs, there is a mother sitting, a mother bird. It was a pigeon. She's sitting there.
Wow. Okay.
And she looks up at me, and I'm looking at her, and I'm a very peaceful guy, so I give her this nice little intention that I'm not here to hurt you, and she just watches me. And I just smile to myself because I love that, and I walk away. But I walk away with a great lesson of life, which is what I want to share with you. Why did the mother bird arrive there? Why did she build her nest there? Did I ask her to? Did I force her to? No. Actually, all I did was that I created the right conditions for her to come and build the nest. Because I was watering the plants, because those plants were growing well, because there was space between the plants, I just created the conditions, and that event arrived by itself. So please remember this, success is an event. It's an outcome. Success or the earning of money, which so many people are driven by, is just the consequence. It is the effect. It is the result of building the right conditions. If you create the right conditions, the money will arrive by itself. But focus on the money and you take your attention away from creating the conditions, and then earning the money is a struggle. So now, since we are on the subject of wisdom, here's a little bit of more wisdom. Call it guru insights or guru wisdom for you, okay? If you're struggling to earn money, it's because you're doing the wrong thing. Because when you do the right thing in the right way, things don't become hard. The struggle goes away. So struggle is an indicator you're doing something wrong, or you're doing the right thing but in a wrong way. And that's what we need to correct. When you do things the right way, when you do it at the right time, when you're doing the right thing, the whole effect of that is that the struggle goes away. You almost attract what you want to yourself. So build the right conditions in the process and you'll see that success happens automatically.
Wow. I'm not sure if you guys got it, but this is such an amazing... Firstly, it's a beautiful, beautiful story, but the lesson behind that story is just so amazing, because I think that many of us, including myself, I would say, is that we are always full focused on the end result, and we do what we can to engineer the end results, right? But the truth is this, right? The wisdom is this, that the end result is actually the consequences, it's the effects of what we actually engineer for the conditions. So if you actually engineer the right conditions for the end result to happen, now that is when we are going to be able to, effortlessly create the right conditions to have the end results coming to us. So for example, if we want to have like money, right, we need to have the right conditions. The right condition could be things like learning the right skill set, having the right network, now putting in the hours to make sure that it happens. So your mind is not about creating money, but your mind is about getting the right condition in place, and that's when you're gonna create, this beautiful story of having the results coming to you. Now the results are gonna come knocking on your door, and that's what I just got away with this short story that Vikas just shared, and it's just so amazing, right? Because I realized it just gives me the clarity that I might be after the wrong thing for the longest time. And this is just going to change your whole perspective on how you should be conducting yourself and your business, right?
And that's the thing you all have to remember. If we are starting out, right? If you're on your entrepreneurship journey and you're starting out, your focus must not be on the money. Your focus must not be on getting that paycheck, because if you have that focus on the money, you're just an employee. I mean, why the hell do you want to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if all you want is a paycheck at the end of the month, how much did I earn? Be an employee, because then it's going to be easier, right? Because you know that you can waste your time, you don't have to produce too much, you don't have to perform at full efficiency, you'll still get the paycheck. But being an entrepreneur is a whole different ballgame. See, now I'm speaking real life, I'm speaking absolutely the truth. Not everybody is cut out to be an entrepreneur. Because if you don't want to take risk, if you don't want to be passionate, if you don't want to do the process, don't be an entrepreneur. Stay an employee. Look, the whole world needs employees. I mean, there's more jobs available for employees than are for entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are the ones who create the jobs. So that means people who are entrepreneurs, they have to have something more than money driving them. And what is it that drives them? It's the passion for what they do. And that brings me back to what we were talking about. How do you find clarity? You look for what brings you that high energy, that state of excitement. What action or what work or what process brings me to that high state? And that's what I want to do. And then after that, I also want to get good at doing it. So the skill set can come later. Right? The skill sets can come later. How do I do my work in a more efficient way? That can happen later. But the first thing we need to get clear on is, what should I be doing?
Right. What should I be doing? My purpose, my calling, what should I be doing?
Absolutely.
Commit to it first. The skill set will come later, and the universe will support you in getting to where you want to be.
Because as soon as people see your commitment is when people are going to buy into you. That's the thing. If you are not committed to what you're doing, people are never going to buy into you. That's the rule of sales, right? Also, I mean, I teach high-level sales in companies, as you know, but The first thing is the first person you have to sell to is yourself. If you are not sold on your product or on what you're doing, you're not going to sell anyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Right?
Alright, so Vickers, wow, that was such an amazing sharing, and that was actually just our first question, guys, and I think we already gotten so much value and so much wisdom, right, from the world's #1 wisdom coach right here. So Vickers, very interestingly, we are talking about, you know, inner calling and purpose, and you're saying that wisdom is really about, you know, putting in like minimum effort and getting maximum results. Now, how does wisdom actually help us achieve that? Like, how can wisdom apply it to business to achieve minimum results? Minimum effort and yet produce maximum results. How do one actually apply that into business?
So let me clarify and qualify what wisdom is, right? Why am I called the wisdom coach? So first of all, look, every business is made up of people. Every business made up of people. Think of a company like Apple.
Yeah.
You'll see the people behind it. Think of a company like Amazon. There's somebody behind that company.
Yeah.
And even the company, even though it may be $1 trillion company, it's being run by people.
Yes.
Okay, people use technology, people use systems, people use methodologies. So essentially it's all about people. Now take any business again, let's just take Apple and Amazon because they're popular names, we keep using them all over again. So let's talk about how they make their money. So again, Apple sells to other people, right? Amazon sells to other people, right? I'm an Apple client, I'm an Amazon client, and I'll tell you what, I'm happy with both those companies. They can have more of my money. Right? In fact, I just bought myself a new Apple phone, and it was because I had my old Apple phone, and I don't usually like to change phones all the time. I'm not a, what's the latest tech kind of a guy, but I'm very much about leverage, I'm very much about exponential results. So I was using my iPhone for the last 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah,
Okay.
and I know they've come out with 3-4 models in the meantime, and anyway, now came time for me to upgrade my phone. Now without thinking, I went back to the Apple shop and I told him, I said, look, what's your latest phone? And he showed me 2 models and I picked one of them. That's it, I'm done. They don't have to sell me. But why don't they have to sell me is the question. It's because they've understood what I want. So they are selling to a person like me. What I want everyone to understand is this, that every company you can think about is made up of people. It was driven by people, it was created by people, maybe even one person behind that company, and it sells to people. So understand this formula. The formula for profit is people. The formula for wealth is people. The formula for success is people. You want to have a good relationship, the formula for love is people. You can't understand the woman, you forget about a good relationship. Do you follow?
Yeah.
Everything is about people. So the secret of success is to understand how people function. Everything else comes from there. So once I understand how people function, I can create any process, any formula down the line. So how do people function? People function based on how they think. So the thoughts that we have, the mindset that we have, is literally what makes people or helps people or drives people to take the actions they do or the decisions they make. So now we are talking about mindset. It's mindset that drives people. And now here comes the key. What does the mindset work on? The mindset works on this thing called wisdom. So what is wisdom? Wisdom is the food for the mind. Wisdom is the software of the mind. So when I talk about wisdom, I'm talking about the highest way of thinking about something. And that highest way will achieve its goals, its objectives with the minimum effort. How do you make one program on a computer better than the other program? It creates better results in a faster way. That's how we call it an upgrade. So wisdom is about upgrading the software that our mind is working on. It's the highest state of thinking. So when I go in to coach the top level CEOs, I make them think differently. I give them a different perspective. I stretch their mind out. And suddenly what happens, because we have a session once a month or twice a month for a 1-hour session between the two of us, and we do a lot of deep dive and brainstorming, And as a result of this 1 hour session once a month or twice a month, guess what happens? The company makes another 50 million. Why? Because when you change the mindset of the person at the top, it cascades down to the whole company. Steve Jobs had one brilliant idea, and he took that idea forward and he created multi-millions out of it. That's the power of wisdom. So when I say wisdom for success in business and in life, I'm meaning that the first thing we need to do as entrepreneurs, as individuals, as CEOs, as business owners, as political leaders, as company leaders, as family business owners, whoever you are, the first thing you need to do when you want to grow your life is to be able to grow your own mind. When you grow your mind, you grow your life. When you grow your mind, you grow your business. When you grow your mind, you grow your business results. And again, if I'm struggling in life, whatever I'm struggling with, it's a message for me that I need to change something. And that change must come from me first looking at my own thinking.
Wow. This is truly very powerful, because I sitting here just listening to you, I feel that I'm not just getting it's not just about business lessons, it's about life lessons, it's about the wisdom that you are actually imparting onto us. Like they keep, because like now we've been doing a lot of videos like this, and we always talk about sales and marketing, and normally when these questions are, I was expecting, right, the answer to be like, oh, it's about branding and about stuff, but what I've just learned here, like what Vikas was sharing, is about changing the perspective now. Now, why do people love brand, right? Now, people love brand because it's not about the brand itself. It's about what the brand can help the people think. It's about what the brand can help people achieve. It's about what problem that brand solve for people. So ultimately, like what Vikas was sharing, is that it is about the people, right? It's about the solutions that was being given to the people, and business, wealth, life, everything revolves around the people. Like you were quoting the example of Steve Jobs right there. So Steve Jobs had the brilliant idea of the iPhone, right? And well, it was a very established brand, granted, but it wasn't a $1 trillion company before that, right? But because of him being able to have this idea that it was what people wanted, that helped Apple grew to what a brand it was today. So it's not about just saying that, oh, it's already branded and stuff. It's about knowing what the people wanted, right? And the mindset that people had, and delivering on that really helped the brand grow. So for those of us out there, I just thought that this is such a powerful lesson for us to learn. To have to understand that our business is always down to the people that we are serving.
Yes. And look, I'm all for branding, Gavin. You know, people call me a brand builder. I build brands for people, for companies. I help people build their own brand. So I'm all for branding. However, that comes much later in the process of success. I mean, there's no point building your own brand if you don't have any good content to give. And I don't mean just content online. I mean a good product or a good service. And you will never have a great product or a great service unless you have the passion to go through the downtimes, because every business will take you through the downtimes. Right? I mean, you don't make money from the first day of your business unless you're just a scam artist and you're scamming people, because that's what scam people do. But you have to put in the work. You have to put in the hours. So I have to have that passion. I have to have that commitment, which is going to take me through the downtimes, through the time when I'm not making the money. So I can't be focused on the end profit. I have to focus on the process. See, it's very logical, step by step. So the first thing I need to do is to find that calling within myself, something that drives me, something that excites me, something I want to do, whether I get the money or not. Right? Once I have that, now I take that into a product or a service. How can I take that passion and make it into a product or a service? Now comes the next stage. How do I want to take it to the market? So do I want to set up a company? Do I want to be a personality brand? I have people do both. I've helped people create companies and within a 1 year take it to a net worth of over $2 million.
Wow.
Right? So my point is, how do I take it to the market? Do you want to take it to the market as a personality brand? Do you want to take it to the market as a company? Now, once you have that, then you'll need people around you. So again, it boils down always to people, people, people. So when I create the product, I need to inspire the people who are around me to help me as a team to work this. And then when I want to sell it, again, the bigger my brand, the more well-defined my brand, the easier it becomes for me to communicate the message to the market. So of course branding has a big part to play in it, and I'm a total believer in branding. I'm a brand builder. But now when I want to sell it, and even the brand that I build is dependent on the clients I want, so I need to understand the people again. The whole process is a process that must be driven by the central principle of minimum effort, maximum result. What's the easiest, fastest, smoothest way to achieve the results I want?
Well, absolutely makes a lot of sense. It's just like, because I think right now what Vickers has just given us is this whole framework of understanding how we should be building brands. Like previously I was saying that people would just say it's a brand, but before you can even have a brand, right? Vickers is actually sharing with us that you need to understand who are these people that you are serving, because once you actually identify that, you know the message that you have to give, that's when the brand building actually could start. And then when that starts, then that's how you actually refine it and then get the message out to the right people, and that's when your company is going to grow even faster. That's amazing. Thank you very much for sharing this, sharing us all this wonderful information, Vickers. So I guess moving forward, I just like to ask, because now a lot of people who are going to be watching this, they are probably in sales or in marketing, or they are bubbling entrepreneurs who actually want to understand how they could possibly reach out to you. Now, and you also shared that you do private coaching for many high level people. Now, I believe some of those of you who are up there will want to know this. Well, actually, I'm very curious myself, right? So, is it possible that you actually give us a little bit of insight, right? Without spilling the beans too much, I hope, right? An insight on how you actually conduct your private coaching to these high level clients, like the CEOs and the celebrities, so that we could actually understand how the whole mindset shift could happen. How can we bring our game to the next level?
Okay. So yeah, I offer a number of products, a number of ways that people can come here and grow their business, grow their life. And I also do it for children, by the way. So I have two big brands, Soul Center, which is Asia's premier center for personal development. And we work with companies, we work with individuals and adults. We do a lot of group programs there. I do corporate training there. I do high-level private coaching there. But then I also have another brand which is called Soul Kids, because I want to train children from the time when they're young.
Oh, that's so important, right?
So yes, so Soul Kids is another global brand, and we have trained people around the world. And so there I work with children and families, okay? So talking about the private coaching. Private coaching is one of the products we offer, one of the services we offer to our high-level clients. So these are people who are entrepreneurs. You know, they are running their own businesses. These are people who have a brilliant idea and just starting out. So I actually will even possibly take equity in their company so that I can grow the company together with them.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
So we work with people on that high level. But let's say there's a CEO of a company, there's a business owner, and they want to be coached. Now you have to understand their mindset. I said it's all about the people. People who are already at the top of their game, they have a few challenges which not everybody will have. The first challenge is a challenge of trust, because people at the top of their game don't trust everyone. And they also don't trust everyone because people are not credible enough at their level, right? So they want a coach, they want an advisor who they can trust, number one, and number two, who's credible enough to take them to the next level. Take their business to the next level, or take their life to the next level. Because when you're running 200 million, 100 million, 70 million, 400 million, I even have a client who runs an $800 million company. The point is, for them, it's not just about earning another 10 million. For them, it's also about how can I have more significance in the world? How can I make a deeper impact on this world? Right? And also, how can I have a better life for myself while I'm doing all this great work? So the high-level coaching is essentially for three things. It's number one, to find your inner purpose and significance.
Yeah.
So to be more significant, let's call it that. The second is to be more successful in life and in work. So if you want to set up a business with your brilliant idea and take it to the market and 3 years later exit with 10 million in your bank account, I show you a way to do that. If you have a company which is at 50 million and you want to take it to 70 million, I work with my clients to come up with a strategy to do that. If you have a company that's struggling because of its branding, then I work with my top level clients to be able to create a new branding for the company. So the first is, of course, about how to be more significant and make a deeper impact on the world. The second is how to scale your own success, whether it's a company success or a personal success. So I also help people to become international coaches and global speakers. I'm a TEDx speaker myself. I've won a number of awards at speaking competitions. The point is, how do we make an impact through our speaking, through our communication? So there's people who come in and they say, look, I want to be a global speaker and earn money from it. Can you help me to do that? So those are also high-level clients. So significance is number one. The second is about success. And the third one, which I always bring into the game. You see, you can only be significant and you can only be successful when you're offering service to the world. So it's about how can I serve people in a more wider, a bigger fashion, right? So I give them value. So it is all about giving value after all. So that's my high-level coaching. And people have private sessions with me. These are people who can be anywhere around the world. I have clients in the USA, in UK, in Netherlands, in Hong Kong, in Shanghai, in India, in Singapore, all over the world. And they will have a direct coaching relationship with me. So we have a number of private sessions that we'll do. If it's in Singapore, they might do it in person. People will actually fly in to do sessions with me, or they'll book in sessions when they're coming in for a business meeting, let's say, or a conference. I also do it over Zoom calls, so it's accessible to people around the world. Then they also have access to all of my training programs. Wherever in the world I do training programs, they have access to that.
Wow.
Yes.
But I mean, to be honest, I feel as though I just been through one of these short high-level coaching session, because within that short period of time, you can actually see how Vickers could so succinctly give us a framework on how you actually could grow, not just yourself, but also your business through finding that significance in life, then can bring out to success, and of course, how you could be bringing service to the world. Because without bringing service to the world, without adding value to people, you're not going to be able to find the success in life, you're not going to find that significance in life. And that framework in that short few minutes just blew me away, and I think it's just an example of how Vickers could actually help you and your business grow in one of his high-level coaching sessions. Now, thank you very much for this mini sessions here. And also, I think Vickers is very interesting right now that you actually mentioned about, it's about bringing service to the world, it's about adding value to the world before you could even find success and significance in life or in business. So many of us out here right now, we are bubbling entrepreneurs, we are in sales or marketing, and I believe one of the questions would be, then how, given that I have a product, it could be whatever product it is. Now, you also mentioned that you have to believe in the product before you could sell it.
Sure.
So the question would be, how is it that someone could add value to the world? Like, given that the world is now such a noisy environment, there's social media, right? There's internet, there's Netflix, there's TV, there's all these gossips in the world, there's all this politics that's happening in the world, and right now in the world that we are in, there's also some form of lockdown all over the world. Then how could someone go out there and provide value to people? How can I find my value point? Like someone who's starting out, how can I find out what value can I bring? Is that something that you could help us with providing wisdom to as well?
Absolutely. So here's the thing. Yeah, I totally agree with you. We are living in a world of noise. There's so much noise out there because, and I'll tell you what, I go on my Facebook feed once a day. Sometimes if I'm on a more relaxed day, I'll check it 2 times a day. And I must tell you, it just puts me off because every second post there is selling me something. And everyone's claiming to do everything for everybody else, right? So it's just one thing after another. It's a world of noise. And people are shouting out about what they're selling. And according to me, this is the wrong way of doing it. Yes, it'll bring you some results, but soon people will wisen up unless you're giving them real value. Because finally what people buy is in their own growth. Understand this, that people are only going to give you money if they are improving in some way. That's when they go from a client to actually becoming an ambassador. I just go straight from client to ambassador. So client is someone who buys from you. Maybe once, maybe twice. But unless you're giving them great value, they're not going to stick with you. They're going to go to the next one. They're going to go to the next one. But how do you turn them into ambassadors, people who are talking about you to others? Is when you give them more value than you promise. So I have a principle, which is what I call one of my secrets of my personal code of conduct, my personal secret of success is I always over-deliver. Clients come in for my programs, they do my coaching, I promise them a lot. I do. But you know what I do? I promise them a lot and I deliver more than that. So the next time around, I don't have to sell them. So the point is, we are living in a world of noise, and if you want to stand out, the first thing you have to do is you have to be able to give them some value that makes their life better. And I truly, totally believe this, and I want everyone out there to believe it. No matter who you are, no matter at what level of life you are at, you have value to contribute to others. There's something you can do in some way that will help someone's life out there to be better. And that's what you have to find. What can I do for others? And you know, Gavin, this is a complete opposite way of thinking. And that's why, again, it's a wisdom strategy. Because when we start out, we are young, we are energetic, or you know, we have some nice big dreams, and we are starting to think about, what do I want? I want to drive a nice car. I want to have a big home. I want to travel the world. I only want to travel business class. You know, people have all these kinds of ideas. I want to buy myself the next watch or the big gold ring or something like that. I want to buy the next, you know, Armani suit. And this is all about me. And I've forgotten the basic fundamental of business success, which is that I must create the conditions for success to happen. And the conditions to make success happen means that I must make people come to me rather than chase after them. Look, there's two ways to do business. And one of my great mentors, you know, from my journey when I was a teenager taught me this. He says there's two ways to make anything happen. You run after something or you attract it to you. Okay? So you run after something means you're chasing it. When you're chasing something, it's stressful because, come on, running after anything is stressful.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Right? Think of this as a very simple example. You like a girl, right? Let's say you're a single young boy and you like a girl, and now you run after her. That's stressful, I tell you. That's stressful because you're always thinking about what you're doing wrong, what you should be doing, why is it not working, and that actually impacts your self-esteem a lot. So chasing after anything, whether it's money, whether it's wealth, whether it's success, is the wrong strategy of life. You're doing something wrong. That's why the struggle happens. I said that before. But the second way, and that's the way of wisdom, is to learn how to attract it to you, which means that let it come to you. And the only way you can do that is that you have to become the nectar and let the bees come to you. And that's a wisdom secret. It's a secret of one of my successes. I have it engraved inside in my office. Become the nectar and let the bees come to you. In other words, you become so good at what you do and you make your values so visible and so apparent that they cannot ignore you, that they come to you. Listen, my friend, today we are sitting here, and if I'm right, you asked me that, can I have an hour of your time to interview you? Am I right?
Yes, absolutely, guys. Very grateful for it.
Absolutely. Look,
Yeah.
I was happy to do that. But the fact is this, I didn't chase you. Right? I attracted you to me.
Yeah.
How did I do that? Because whatever I speak and whatever I coach people is something I apply in my life. And I did that because in every interaction we have had before, whether we worked together at an event, whether we were traveling together on a flight, whether we met for 5 minutes at somebody else's party, but at every event I have given you something of value. I have given you something that you have benefited from. And that's the reason why you asked me, can I interview you? When you make your value apparent to others and when you make sure that everyone sees how you can help them and you over-deliver, then you become the nectar that the bees will find you. So everyone out there, I want you to know that there's value inside you. But you've got to find that value and believe in yourself first before the world will believe in you. There's something you can do, something you can offer that will make somebody else's life out there a better life. And you have to find that before you go forward.
Wow, that's so powerful. Yeah. You guys right here, I'm just sitting here. I'm at a loss of words of what to say, even though I'm supposed to be moderating this interview right here, because you know, when Vickers is sharing, it's not just about marketing skill sets or anything like that anymore. It's about how Vickers is able to weave within all this wisdom into what we commonly know as like what we call attraction marketing, funnels and everything. But Vickers, using wisdom, is able to create these stories, create these frameworks, create these strategies that help us understand it so easily, right? Become the nectar and let the bees come to you. I mean, that's attraction marketing, about adding real value, and then how do you turn a client. And this is really my biggest takeaway from what you have just shared so far as well. I mean, it's really such amazing idea, because for many of us in sales and marketing, what we are always looking for is that how can we find the next customer, how can we find the next client, how can I have a new prospect so that I can turn this person into a client or a customer. But we've never really talked about how can we turn our clients into ambassadors, right? We're going to have our people who have paid us who to receive our service, but we do them so much good, and we over deliver that these people become our ambassadors, and these people are going out there and telling the whole world about us. And right now we don't even have to market anymore, because now we have become the nectar and the bees are going to come to us. That is such a powerful concept that I've gotten up from this, through these wisdom strategies that Vickers shared. I'm not sure if you guys actually appreciate the gravity and the just how much value you're actually getting from the short few minutes that Vickers actually sat down here and shared. I'm so glad that I'm able to squeeze this hour of your time, Vickers. I'm really very happy, and on behalf of anyone who's watching it, once again I'd like to thank you for your time. And before we actually wrap up this interview, amazing interview, is that if there is one thing that you could share with anybody who is really looking out to start, for anyone who says that Vickers, I'm just new in this entrepreneurship journey, I'm new in sales, I'm new in marketing. Now, of course, you have given me so much value, Vickers, but if you just have one piece of advice that you could give to me, what would that be?
Look, that's an easy one, okay, for me, because it's a principle I live by. Wow. Right? Every morning I get up, and I tell myself that I'm lucky to be alive. I'm blessed to be alive. And because I'm alive, I have a responsibility to give my best to life today. All right? So the one last word that I want to leave everybody with is that you have one life and you're living it today. Make sure you give your best to your life, to your work, to your business, to your relationships, to your friends today. Don't delay life, because life is fragile, life is impermanent, life is uncertain. But you're alive and you have that one life and you have today, and you give your best today. That's my final message for everyone.
Oh guys, that's amazing. One life, 100% every single day. When you wake up, be grateful, that this is your shot at it. Give it your all, and that's the wisdom of achieving success. Amazing. Once again, thank you very much, Vickers, for joining us today. And I believe after watching this interview, there are going to be many people who want to reach out to you to find out more about the wisdom ways, about connecting with the world's #1 wisdom coach. If you would love to do that, what is the best way for us to actually reach out to you?
So the easiest way, if you want to come and attend one of my programs, or you want to do private coaching with me, or you want me to support you and guide you to take your business to the next level, is just to reach out to me on my website, and that's soulcenter.org, O-R-G. So it's SOUL, because I believe all about the soul, center, CENTRE.org. And just drop me an email at info@soulcenter.org, and we'll take it forward from there. Also connect with me on Facebook and YouTube, and we'll take it forward.
Alright guys, don't worry, I know it's a lot for you guys to take in. I'm going to be dropping the link right over here. You're going to be able to see it, as well as all at the description box below. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to be having it in the description box below. You're watching it on Facebook or Instagram, just check out on the comment section. I'm going to be leaving the links as well. And of course, if you are watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, alright, and turn on the notification bells, because I'm going to have a lot more amazing interviews like this with other successful entrepreneurs, and hopefully I'm going to have more with Vickers as well.
Absolutely.
And if you are watching it on the Facebook or Instagram, remember to drop me a like, comment, and share it out. Okay guys? So once again, Vickers, thank you very much for your time. It's been an amazing hour with you, and I hope that with your wisdom strategies, it's going to help a lot of people out there. I know it's going to help a lot of you guys who's watching this right now. So again, guys, comment, share, and do follow Vickers on his Facebook page, alright? Thank you very much, and I'll see you at the next episode of Conversations.
Thank you.